I really want to know how to deal with the fact that Americans are fickle people, because watching what has played out in our country over the last 11 plus months, I cannot help but come to the conclusion that we kind of low-key enjoy the emotional roller coaster. I mean, it's one thing to enjoy the up and down in the relationships of like your favorite characters in a novel, or even to enjoy a little bit of angst in your own personal relationships. It's another thing to ride that roller coaster when you're talking about organizing to defeat fascism. This isn't really a condemnation of us as a people. It's just that I see so many folks who just swing so hard emotionally as we are in this really difficult phase in our history. I just see over and over a lack of steadfastness, a lack of resolve, a lack of stoicism, a tremendous amount of emotional volatility. We love our high highs and our low lows here in the US. Think back to April 5th, hands off. Think back to the first No King's Day. Think to the second No King's Day. All of those punctuations of just this surge of like hopefulness and feeling that connection to other people, realizing that we're not alone, that millions and millions of us are organizing. Everybody that I know of who went to a hands off or No King's Day rally came off of that being like, yes, we can do this. We got this. We're organizing together. We are building our collective power. We are all taking action. We are moving in the right direction. These are hard times, but like we, the American people, we got this. Just to have it be this complete crash, just days later when there's any bit of negative news in the headlines, any small amount of like forward movement from the regime, any perceived loss for the resistance, people just immediately like, whoom, give up hope. Like, oh my gosh, I'm in the depths of despair now. All hope is lost. We're cooked. We're screwed. This is the end. And then we have something else good happen. We have a really good court case that goes well. We have the November elections that were just like this sweep across the country. And we're all like way up high here again. Yes. All right. We got this. We got this, y'all. We're riding high. We're enjoying that rush of good vibes. And then the 8 surrender Dems completely betray all of us and we're like back down in the basement again emotionally. I think about the National Guard case here in Portland, and no hate to my friends, I love y'all, but too many of my friends have just been going like this over the National Guard in Portland. Just this tremendous up and down and up and down. And I think that too many of us, when we hear one ruling and then we hear another and we hear Trump try and do something awful and then the people push back, we allow our emotions to get dragged up and down and up and down. And I think we enjoy it a little bit. We like the drama a little bit, and it's so hard on us. It's so hard on us in terms of our longevity in the resistance movement. It's not good. It's not good for our hearts and for our psyches to experience that kind of tremendous swing of emotions from like, yes, I'm soaring up on the wings of anticipation. Oh my gosh, I'm crashing into the ground. I'm feeling incredibly positive, and then the next moment, like my cortisol is surging, and I just feel bleak as fuck. That's not good for us. And there's just so many people in my comments who their hope is contingent on their emotions, rather than hope being a decision that you make, a position that you are going to hold regardless of your feelings, regardless of where your emotions are trying to take you. Too many people have their hope tied to good feelings. They are fickle with their hope. They are fickle when it comes to their resolve in the resistance movement. People are in my comments every day being like, I need you to keep me hyped up. I need you to keep me really positive. Because I think for too many of us, we really are fickle. Our hope really is tied to our emotions, and it just can't be. Our determination, our forward movement, our organizing cannot be tied to our feelings, because we in this society really enjoy the up and down. We really enjoy the roller coaster, and allowing ourselves to get dragged along that ride can derail our organizing work. It's what the regime is counting on, right? They are counting on driving you into the depths of despair. They are counting on taking your hopeful feeling and just cutting the feet out, sweeping your feet out from underneath you. Right? They know that emotional volatility makes it much more difficult for you to function. And I don't know how to help other folks. I realize that, I am somebody who maybe is a little bit maladaptive in my ability to kind of check my emotions and say, that's not going to change my behavior. I can feel my feelings, but feelings are not facts, and feelings will not change my behavior nor sway me from my course. whatever my German parenting childhood trauma is that helps me disconnect from those emotions and helps me understand that I got to get shit done regardless of how I'm feeling. That has been an asset to me right now, but I understand that not everybody operates that way. I just wish I knew how to better help us as people not be so fickle, not to have our hope tied to good feelings, because the regime is trying to manipulate your feelings. They're trying to use your emotions, manipulate your emotions in order to exhaust you, in order to control you. We can't let them do that. And perhaps this is where I'm asking for help, because I have so many people in my comments who look to me to give them encouragement, and I don't know how to tell them, like, stop being so fucking fickle, get some steadfastness. Do not let your actions be tied to your momentary feelings. Do not let your feelings run you. I recognize that that's not particularly helpful advice, and so I don't know, I really want to help people, because I have so many folks in my comments who come off of a really good rally or some organizing event or some really good news that's in the headlines, right? And they're like, yes, I'm soaring high. I feel really positive. I've got all that hopium on board and I'm just like high as a kite off of it. And let's go. And then there's a setback. Then there's something scary in the headlines because the regime is trying to scare the shit out of us, right? And we know that corporate media is in the pocket of they're a mouthpiece for the regime. So they hear one scary headline and then they just, right? It's like they got their wings broken off and they just like plummet straight to the valley floor. No, it's not really like they got their wings broken off. They just decided to stop using them. And I hate seeing people ride that roller coaster. I hate seeing them be brought so high and then so low over and over again, knowing how hard that is on their bodies and their minds, knowing that that's not good for anybody to be experiencing that kind of constant emotional turmoil, that kind of tremendous swing from like everything is amazing to all hope is lost and then back again. We cannot let our determination, our hope, our motivation, our actions pivot on a dime like that, because the pace of the headlines, the amount of like good news and bad news is just going to be constant, like boom, 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 boom. And we're just going to let it take us on this like horrible, dizzying ride. We can't allow that to happen. So how do we become more steadfast as a people? How do we not let the regime manipulate our emotions? How do we realize that like there may be a little bit of enjoyment we get out of the roller coaster, but that overall being fickle, allowing us to go from one extreme to the other, allowing ourselves to go from one extreme to the other as the regime and the headlines take us all over the place. How can we understand that that's not good for us long term, and how can we break out of that cycle? I know I like to say that Donald Trump is your narcissistic ex-boyfriend, but the level of emotional volatility I see from some folks, it does remind me of watching, your girlfriend who is having that breakup, get back together with her toxic ex, where she knows it's toxic, she knows it's not good for her, but she kind of enjoys the drama of it. I think the American people are that way a little bit. And I think that apps like TikTok or our news broadcasts exacerbate it because they're giving us that dopamine hit, right? We like the lows and we like the highs and we definitely like the transition in between. But then that serves the regime because at the end of the day, it's exhausting us. And at the end of the day, we are allowing our involvement to be tied to our feelings. And we're allowing our feelings to be manipulated by Donald Trump and Stephen Miller. I don't know about you, but I don't fucking want Stephen Miller having control over a single thing in my life. Definitely not my feelings. Definitely not my hope. What can we do about the fact that we're fickle? What can we do about the fact that we have a real lack of steadfastness? What can we do about the fact that we really have a lack of distress tolerance? We really struggle with some of those emotion regulation skills, and the regime and the propaganda that they use and the psychological warfare that they are engaging in is meant to take advantage of that fact, is meant to take advantage of the fact that we kind of have some emotional volatility, is meant to use that against us at every chance. And how do we deprive them of a victory? How do we deprive them of a win there? How is it that we can build up our steadfastness and not let our hope, our outlook, our organizing be tied to our emotions? How do we become less fickle and understand that in doing so, we are crafting for ourselves a win, a victory against the fascists. We are shoring up our defenses. We are making sure that we are no longer allowed to be used and manipulated by them. Right? Like Sarah in Labyrinth, you have no power over me. How can we cultivate our steadfastness as armor against the regime?